Welcome to Informatica Cloud 201 on-demand course, Advanced Parameterization and REST Utilization. Upon completion of this module, you will be able to understand parameterization and its uses with the help of an example, understand advanced parameterization, understand REST utilization and REST tools, and discuss advantages of the REST API and parameterization. What is parameterization? Parameter can be assumed to be a placeholder where you can assign a value at the time of running the mapping or task. It allows the creation and assignment of variables within the ICS tasks. Values may be modified between runs of jobs. It allows for greater reusability and flexibility, which provides user with more productivity. Now we will discuss a use case to understand where we can use the parameterized mapping. Let us assume that an organization needs to pull two sets of filtered values from multiple objects within a Salesforce environment. It doesn't want to build and rebuild mappings for each object as it becomes very tedious. So they want to use global variables to eliminate redundancy. They would use parameters in their mapping which they can replace with actual values at the runtime. They would like to utilize the REST capabilities to expedite the process. The Informatica Cloud REST API would allow them to create, modify, and run the mapping configuration tasks on the fly. Based on the example we discussed earlier, let us now discuss how can we meet the business need of the organization. To meet their requirements, they can use filters which can be of two types. First is the basic filter, where amount will be greater than $1 lakh. However, in this case, we need to specify a fixed value of amount which cannot be changed. The second type is using the parameterized filter in a parameterized mapping where the amount can be greater than a variable $value high. Here, value high serves as a variable and can be reassigned any number of values. Now, let us discuss advanced parameterization. Parameter files are used for mappings. Parameter files are nothing but a text file which contains the parameter values and variable values for a mapping, session, and workflows. This minimizes hard coding, thereby increasing the flexibility, reusability, readability, and avoids rework through the judicious use of parameters and variables. You can create a mapping once and reuse it across multiple projects. You can also update the parameters for multiple mapping configuration tasks with one change. Another important aspect of advanced parameterization is using the fully parameterized mapping. In fully parameterized mappings, the sources and targets are parameterized where you can change your data sources and targets between job or task runs without heavy modification. To fit your business needs, you can modify the values between job or task runs by parameterizing the filters. Then, you can have parameterized connection objects in which quick changes between objects within a connection can be made. For example, switching from opportunity to account objects in Salesforce. Now let us discuss how you can utilize Informatica Cloud REST API with the advanced parameterized mappings. Parameterized mapping becomes productive for us if we use the REST API along with it. You can modify existing parameterized mapping configuration tasks through use of the REST API. You can create the new parameterized mappings with REST API call, and you're able to run mappings from the REST client. We have already discussed the capabilities of Informatica Cloud REST API in detail in earlier module of this course. We had also discussed few important functions of the Informatica Cloud REST API. We will now use the following API functions in our demonstration: Job API and Empty Task API. The Job API allows the ICS mappings to be run via an API call. It also starts or stops a task or task flow. Empty Task API helps to create new mappings using XML or JSON objects. Also, we can retrieve and modify the existing mapping configurations using the Empty Task API. Now let us define the benefits of using the Informatica Cloud REST API and parameterization together. The advantages of using the Informatica Cloud REST API: it decreases time to deploy a new task. It also decreases time to modify the existing tasks. And it also enables self-service via API calls. The advantages of using parameterization are: you can make mapping configuration changes on the fly. Use of stored variables expands the capabilities of mappings. So, you can utilize the advantages of the REST API for advanced parameterization to build more reusable and flexible mappings and mapping configuration tasks. Let us understand these advantages in the coming slides in the form of a demonstration. In this demo, we will be utilizing the parameterization tools included in Informatica Cloud. The first example will walk you through creating a fully parameterized mapping. This parameterized mapping will allow for global reuse in filtering operations with two sets of filter paths. This demo will focus around using Salesforce opportunities to generate low and high value opportunities into separate files for business use. To build a fully parameterized mapping, first of all, log in to the Informatica Cloud org. Then, hover to Design and select Mappings from the drop-down menu. Click the New Mapping button. In the New Mapping window, enter the name of the mapping as Demo Parameterized and give a suitable description. Click OK. A mapping canvas will appear. Now add a source to the mapping by dragging and dropping the source shape into the canvas. In the Source Properties pane, enter Parametric Source in the Name field. Click the Source tab in the Source Properties pane. From the drop-down menu for Connections, select the New Parameter button. In the New Input Parameter window, enter the name as Source Parameter, label it as Data Source. Do not select any connection type. Click OK. Now select the source type as parameter, and for the parameter field, click the New Parameter button. Enter the name as source type and label it as source type. Click OK. Now we will add two filters to the mapping. Drag and drop two filter shapes into the canvas. Link the source to the filters. Now we will configure the first filter. In the General tab, name the filter as FLTR underscore high value. In the Filter tab, select the Completely Parameterized option from the Filter Condition drop-down. For the parameter field, select the New Parameter button. Now, in the Appeared window, enter the name as Filter High and label it as Filter High. Click OK. Let us move to the next filter. In the General tab, name the filter as FLTR Low Value. In the Filter tab, select the Completely Parameterized option from the Filter Condition drop-down. For the parameter field, select New Parameter. Now, in the Appeared window, enter the name as Filter Low and label it as Filter Low. Click OK. Next, let us add two targets to the mapping. Drag and drop a target shape into the canvas. Link filter high value to the target. In the General tab, name the target as Target High Value. In the Target tab, select the New Parameter button for connection. In the appeared window, enter the name as Target High and label it as Target High. Click OK. Select the target type as parameter. For the parameter field, select New Parameter. Name it as Target High Connection Type. Click OK. Now, in the Field Mapping tab, change the field mapping option from manual to automatic. Now we will add another target to mapping for low values. Link the filter low value to the target. In the General tab, name the target as TGT low value. In the Target tab, select the New Parameter button for connection. In the appeared window, enter the name as Target Low and label it as Target Low. Click OK. Select the target type as parameter. Select New Parameter. Name it as Target Low Connection Type. Click OK. Now in the Field Mapping tab, change the field mapping option from manual to automatic. Now we will validate, save, and run the mapping. To open the validation panel, click the validation icon. A validation pane will appear on the right-hand side of the window. If there are any errors, then rectify them and continue. Hover to save. Click Save and Continue from the drop-down menu, and the mapping status will be displayed as valid. To run the mapping, hover to save and click Save and Run from the drop-down. A task wizard will open. Select your runtime environment and click Next. In the Source wizard, set up source. In the Data Source connection, select your Salesforce connection and source type as single. Select the source type object as opportunity. Click Next. Now we will set up the targets. Set the Target High connection as your local CSV file connection. In the Target High Connection Type object, you can select an existing flat file or you can create a new target. But right now, we will select the Target High CSV file. Similarly, select Target Low Connection as local CSV file connection, and in Target Low Connection Type object, select targetlow.csv. Click Next. Finally, assign the input parameters. For the Filter High parameter details, select New. In the Filter By field, select Amount. Choose the operator as greater than or equals and put the filter value to be 100000. Similarly, for Filter Low parameter details, click New. In the Filter By field, select Amount. Choose the operator to be less than and filter value to be 100000. Click the Validate button and then select Run. The task status will be displayed in the Activity Monitor, and once the task gets complete, Activity Log will appear. You can check the results from the flat file directory. This mapping can now be applied to a multitude of scenarios and use cases, thanks to parameterization. Next, we will build MCT, which utilizes parameter files. The second example will expand upon the fully parameterized mapping and introduce the use of parameter files. Parameter files allow for rapid modification of parameter values without the need to access the ICS web client. These saved parameters also allow for reuse across multiple use cases without any manual modifications of each mapping. To do so, create parameter file. Locate Informatica Cloud Secure Agent Install folder. Navigate to the main RDTMDir folder. Create a new folder called User Parameters if it does not exist already. Create a text file with the name user parameters and add the content to it as $filter high is equal to 100000 and $filter low is equal to 100000. To use the parameters using parameter file, locate previously created mapping. In the Actions drop-down, select New Mapping Configuration Task. A task wizard will open. Give the name as Parametric Configuration and select your runtime environment and click Next. In the Source wizard, set up Source. In the Data Source connection, select your Salesforce connection and source type as single. Select the source type object as opportunity. Click Next. Now we will set up the targets. Set the target high connection as your local CSV file connection. In the target high connection type object, you can select an existing flat file or you can create a new target. But right now, we will select the target high CSV file. Similarly, select target low connection as local CSV file connection and in target low connection type object, select target low.csv. Click Next. In the Assign Input Parameters, for the Filter High parameter details, select New. Click the Advanced button. In the pop-up window, enter the expression as shown on the screen. Click OK. Similarly, for Filter Low parameter details, click New. Click the Advanced button. In the pop-up window, enter the expression as shown on the screen. Click OK. Click Next. In the Schedule wizard, enter the parameter file name as user parameters. To run the MCT, hover to save and click Save and Run from the drop-down. The task status will be displayed in the Activity Monitor, and once the task gets complete, Activity Log will appear. You can check the results from the flat file directory. This concludes the demonstration on parameterization. You're now ready to implement the parameterized mapping. In this lab, you will build a fully parameterized mapping, create a parameter file, and run an MCT using the parameter file. In a leading organization, the sales head used to analyze the latest trends of sales, profit, customer demand, investment, etc., daily, monthly, and quarterly. The sales head wanted hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly reports as per the business requirements. Few of the data were maintained in flat files and others came from variant databases. To collate the data into so many reports on a regular basis was a huge effort in terms of manpower and time. The data was never 100% accurate and rarely real time was required for hourly and daily reports. Sometimes it took weeks to collate the entire data. 100% accurate reports showing the sales and profit analysis, customer demand and supply analysis, etc. In hourly, daily, monthly, and quarterly formats, also, this information should be made with less effort in terms of manpower and maintain the timeline strictly. So, as a solution to this problem, the organization implemented Informatica Cloud. They created mappings in which some were parameterized and others were fixed. With the help of parameterized mapping and leveraging the capabilities of REST API, they were able to create reports by replacing the parameters on the fly and generated accurate reports using the data which were stored in the form of flat files, relational databases, and other sources such as Salesforce. Informatica Cloud's REST API helped them to make mapping configuration changes on the fly and expand capabilities of mappings through use of stored variables. As a result, they to prepare accurate reports in few hours, which otherwise took days or sometimes months to prepare. This concludes the Advanced Parameterization and REST Utilization module. In summary, we understood parameterization and its uses with the help of an example, understood advanced parameterization, understood the REST utilization and REST tools, and discussed the advantages of REST API and parameterization.